Marlboro, a Material Requirements Process Analysis by Kelly Bryan, Angie Roach, Paul Baker, Chelsea Woods, and Annie Carter for Brandman University's Operations and Supply Chain Management under Helen Eckmann, MGTU 315OL1. In this presentation, we will identify what Material Requirement Planning is, or MRP, and any opportunities for improvement that present itself for Marlboro Company's MRP. We'll do this by analyzing their vision and mission statement and the following foundational units: tobacco sourcing, filter, paper, packaging, and manufacturing. Marlboro was designed and built from the ground up, starting with 4 foundational pillars, which become the bread and butter for its mission and value statements. These 4 pillars are identified as create substantial value for shareholders, align with society, satisfy adult customers, and invest in leadership. In successfully implementing strategies to uphold these visions, Marlboro has become one of the most financially successful competitors within the tobacco industry. But what is MRP? MRP is Material Requirements Planning, a computer-based inventory management system designed to improve productivity for businesses. It is designed to answer 3 questions: what is needed, how much is needed, and when is it needed? Companies need to manage these types of quantities of materials they purchase strategically, plan which products to manufacture and in what quantities, and ensure that they can meet current and future customer demand, all of which are at the lowest possible costs. MRP helps companies maintain low inventory levels. By maintaining appropriate levels of inventory, manufacturers can better align their production with rising and falling demand. MRP has a long background. Material Requirements Planning was the earliest of the integrated information technology systems that aimed to improve productivity for businesses by using computers and software technology. The first MRP systems of inventory management evolved in the 1940s and 1950s. They used mainframe computers to gather information from a bill of materials for a specific finished product into a production and purchasing plan. As discussed here, MRP, or Material Requirements Planning, considers several aspects of operational flow, but the key takeaways are that MRP is the earliest computer-based inventory management system. Businesses use MRP to improve their productivity. MRP works backward from a production plan for finished goods to develop inventory requirements for components and raw materials. Marlboro operates out of 44 production facilities and produces over 800 billion cigarettes each year. Cigarettes are produced in factories around the world by processing the tobacco leaf, manufacturing the cigarettes, and preparing the final pack. Once the appropriate materials are sourced, which includes tobacco, additives, and filter, paper, and packaging, then the manufacturing can occur in the following steps. Long rods of tobacco-filled papers are rolled into items called tobacco rods. These rods are then sliced into shorter rods and filters are inserted. The rods are cut again into 2 cigarettes. Those cigarettes are packaged into the iconic Marlboro branded packaging most everyone recognizes. The cigarettes cycle through 3 different levels of quality confirmation before being loaded onto a truck for distribution. MRP monitors material levels as well as other factors such as storage, costing, and federal regulations. To ensure that inventory is kept up to date, and manufacturing smoothly running. While this technology is comprehensive, it can be difficult for any artificial intelligence to make on-the-fly assessments when the unexpected occurs. Machines aren't known for their ability to cultivate relationships either. Machinery and software also has a higher susceptibility to malfunction and degrading. Cigarette production is one of the most automated industries globally. With that being said, scaling back on planning automation might have a monetary cost in employment and training, but the amount could be justified in waste reduction, strategic case-by-case specific planning, and key sourcing relationships. Marlboro has opportunities when it comes to filter, paper, and packaging of their cigarettes. Marlboro uses high-quality machinery in their 44 production facilities. These machines are extremely important in the cigarette-making business, as are the factory workers. Without either component, cigarette making would be nearly impossible with the technology they have today. In 2019, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, approved Marlboro to sell heat sticks or IQOS devices. Such IQOS devices heats tobacco but doesn't burn it. Marlboro's heated tobacco products are made by blending high-quality tobaccos from selected types and origins. These tobaccos are then ground to provide the perfect mixture and reconstituted back into a tobacco sheet to manufacture the heat sticks. Marlboro's products are made from 3 types of tobacco: Virginia, Burley, and Oriental. They are grown in over 30 countries, from Argentina, Brazil, China, Greece, and the United States, just to name a few. Virginia tobacco, as known as flue-cured tobacco, is a brighter tobacco that is cured for a week in heated barns. It is grown in the United States, among other countries. Burley tobacco is the light to dark down tobacco, which is air-cured in barns for up to 2 months. During this time, the burley loses most of the natural sugars and develops a stronger taste. This is grown in the United States, among several other countries. Oriental tobacco refers to small leaves that are harvested individually and sun-dried. It is not grown in the United States. Tobacco can be made into 2 distinct blends. We have blended and Virginia. Virginia cigarettes are made of the Virginia tobacco leaves and are popular overseas. Blended cigarettes use all 3 of the tobacco leaves. There are added ingredients to replace sugars which are lost during the curing process and to also add to the flavors and smells of cigarette brands. According to Philip Morris International, Marlboro is a blended cigarette. Due to Marlboro's being a blended tobacco product, their sourcing opportunities comes from the need for Oriental tobacco. The demand for Oriental tobacco is high. The crop has a unique aroma that no other type can provide, and is thus a key ingredient in premium American blends, and also light cigarettes that are not grown in the U.S. Another opportunity comes from the cost restraints which are placed on tobacco from federal regulation. After reviewing Marlboro's vision statement and the manufacturing opportunities which tobacco and the filtering, paper, and packaging, we can now discuss recommendations for choosing and preparing a MRP. Joseph Orlicki, author of Materials Requirements Planning, The New Way of Life in Production and Inventory Management, provides that all companies who have an MRP should have the same goals. Now, these include to keep inventory at a minimum, however, keeping it high enough to provide for the customer's need. Companies do not want to sit back on stock of items that could expire before they sell. The second common goal is that all activities should be planned out. This includes delivery, purchasing, and manufacturing. Orlicki points out that MRPs can be time-consuming and difficult to implement, that companies take the time to do so. Marlboro should start with the 3 basic steps when creating their MRP. Step 1. Identify the quantity requirements. This means that they need to determine what they have on hand, what is in an open purchase, what they have planned for manufacturing, what in their inventory is already committed for existing orders, and what is forecasted. Step 2. Running the MRP calculations. This means that Marlboro will create suggestions for the materials in which they consider to be critical, expedited, and delayed. Finally, Step 3 refers to completing the orders. This means that materials for the manufacturing orders, purchase orders, and other reporting requirements are completed.